What is the best way to set a DeEsser when you're talking about voiceover audio? How much de-essing should you use? When should you use a DeEsser? When should you avoid using a DeEsser? Those are the things we're going to talk about in this video. My name is Lenny B, voiceover audio engineer. This is a submission that I got from a client. It's actually, she's been a client, Lisa's been a client for quite a while, but she just moved and she has a different location. So she's actually recording in a different space. So we're going to give her a voiceover kind of an update just to make sure that all the frequencies are balanced correctly. But the first thing I want to do is play you the raw audio from Lisa, and she explains about the microphone she's using and stuff. But I want you just to hear the room that she's in, and then I'm going to play you the updated custom processing preset so you can see the difference. And then we're going to focus and kind of zoom in on de-essing and how I set the de-esser for her, and a kind of a, I don't know if I want to call it a hack, but it's kind of like it's the system I use, it's the process that I use to set a de-esser that helps me find the precise frequencies, high frequencies or sibilant frequencies to attenuate, to really give me what I feel is a great optimized sound for voiceover. So let's take a look at and take a listen to the raw file.
Hi there, my name is Lisa Maslick, and I'm based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. The microphone that I'm using is a Loughton 320, LA320. I use the Scarlett Solo interface, and I have been using Lenny's preset, your preset, for a couple of years now, and I've loved it. However, we have moved to a new home. I'm now in a walk-in closet.
As you can hear, it's actually balanced pretty well. The raw audio, I listen for reflection sounds or overabundant frequencies in particular frequency spaces, and that's what I want to change. But in general, this is a pretty good raw audio recording. So this will be easy for me to update and to send her an update on her custom processing preset. But what I want to do now is play the difference. This is with the custom setting that I've created for her, and we could just kind of look through it real quick. We've done just a little bit of balancing with the EQ, but not a lot of work being done here. And we have also run it through the Sheps Omni channel. These are the plugins that she had originally on her custom preset. And I'm using two de-essers, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But I want you to hear the before and after this updated custom processing preset that I've created. First, we'll listen again to that same section, raw, and then we'll compare it. I'll engage the complete custom preset so you can hear the difference.
Hi there, my name is Lisa Maslick, and I'm based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. The microphone that I'm using is a Loughton 320, LA320. I use the Scarlett Solo interface, and I have been using Lenny's preset, your preset, for a couple of years now, and I've loved it. However, we have moved to a new home. I'm now in a walk-in closet.
So it sounds more present, more clear. It's got a little bit more of a forward type of sound, I think. It kind of brings that voice kind of like right in your face, which is really cool. So the new recording space that she's using, that she's recording, I think is fine. It sounds like it's a larger room than maybe a smaller closet. Generally, you can get less reflections if you're in a bigger space. It kind of helps out. But she must be surrounded by lots of clothes and things that are also absorbing the reflections, because I don't hear many. Okay, here's what I want to do. I want to talk about the frequencies, and really like learning how to use it in EQ, and understanding frequencies is such a foundational, just a really good general understanding. It's going to really help you. It's the foundation of really understanding so many different processors like a de-esser. What I want to do first is we're going to look at Isotope's. This is called Insight Pro, and it's a spectrum analyzer that Isotope has. We're going to turn this on, and I'm going to play the raw audio again. This is before the processing. I want you to take a look at the visual representation of the frequencies in Lisa's raw audio.
Hi there, my name is Lisa Maslick, and I'm based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
What I want you to see here is this bottom grayer graph and the lines here, and this is real time. So when I play, this is moving really quickly, and it's giving us a representation of all the frequencies. But this white line here is actually, it's called a hold peak line, and it's actually showing us the highest points so far until we reset of the frequencies that have been reached. So let's first, I want to talk about the lower portions. And if you don't know, this is actually a good little exercise. I want to get you familiar with the frequencies and what they sound like. So we're starting down at 30 hertz, 100 hertz, 200, 300, 500, 700, 1000 hertz, or 1K. 2K is this area here, 3, 5K, 7K, up to 10K. Now, what I want you to understand is the low bass of our voice is between 100 and around 300, and then we get into the low mid sections, mid frequencies, then there's the upper mid frequencies, the sibilance and the sibilant sounds in her voice, the S's and CH's and SH sounds like sh and s, those sibilant sounds are sometimes between 4,000 and maybe up to 10,000 sometimes. So in this area is where a lot of the sibilance happens. And then beyond that is kind of like a really high air quality sound. But unless you're familiar with an EQ, I think it's a good idea to kind of walk through this and solo some of these, because this is what I want you to understand. I want you to see a visual representation of these frequencies. I want you to understand the numbers and associate those with the sound. So what we're going to do is this little exercise. I think this is really going to open your eyes, open your ears to frequency and EQ and voiceover and producing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up an EQ. Now this is not the EQ that is in the preset. This is the F6 and the Shep's Omni channel are the preset that I've used, and that's disengaged, which it's not on. But I'm opening up another EQ here. This EQ that we're looking at is this first EQ. Then here's the studio rack, and we'll turn that off. So that's her processing preset that we're not using. That's disengaged. And then Insight Pro. So if you didn't know, the audio in most DAWs, I don't know if I've seen a DAW that doesn't work this way, but the audio flows from the top down. So the audio is coming into this F6 RTA, real-time analyzer, the F6 EQ first. It's going through the studio rack, which is disengaged, and then it's going into Insight Pro. It's going from the top down. So the first thing we're going to do is go through this EQ, and I'm going to turn on just this one band, and I'm going to solo the band, and I'm going to cycle through while we're listening to her voice, because I want you to see, we're going to look at the frequencies that we're soloing. We're just isolating this band of frequencies. Let's make it a little bit wider. And I want you to hear them as I sweep them up. And then I want you to visually see where they fall here on this representation on the Insight Pro. All right, let's play through the audio. And I'm going to start at the very bottom. We are listening to her audio right now, but we're talking about listening to frequencies. We're soloing frequencies around 30 hertz, 40, 50, and we're not really hearing anything until we get to 60, 70, 80, 90. That's where the voice kind of starts. Now this is, she may not have the deepest voice, but we really don't start getting voice material until about 70 and up. Okay, let's keep going. Now we can go around 100, 180, 200, 300. Take a really serious run at voiceover. So that's kind of the low mid area, that boxy kind of sound there. So I want you to understand that's we're listening to 200 to 300 hertz, and that's what that sounds like. Let's keep going.
Hi there, my name is Lisa Maslick, and I'm based out of
400,
Manitoba, Canada.
500,
the microphone that I'm using is a Loughton 320,
800, 1000 hertz.
Scarlett Solo.
So now we're getting up into the mid-range and that upper mid sound, and we're going to approach the sibilance now around 4,000 hertz.
Hi there, my name is Lisa
13,
Maslick, and I'm based
15,
out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
19 hertz, so there's 2,000,
I use the Scarlett
3,000, and this is where some of those sibilant sounds start happening.
Hi there, my name
3,000,
is Lisa Maslick,
4,
and I'm based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba,
6,
Canada.
7,000. I find that a lot of the really high sibilant sounds, a lot of the S's and the high S's happen sometimes up around 8, 9, or 10. And then beyond that, it starts getting into the air and it's beyond that sibilant sound.
Hi there, my name is Lisa
and then it really starts dropping off, and we don't hear a lot of those really upper high frequencies. So the reason why I did this is because I want you to associate the numbers and visually what it looks like on an EQ when you sweep through there, and also on the spectrum analyzer, and what it sounds like at the same time. So now, and you can do this, by the way, too. You could grab an EQ and you could use a higher low-pass filter and just kind of sweep through just to understand the numbers and how they associate to the sound in your voice. That's really going to help. These are really the fundamentals of working an EQ. I have a training course called Fundamental EQ for Voice, and it's a fantastic course. I'm very proud of it. It's one of the most popular courses I have. And if you are interested in being able to produce audio, especially voiceover, because this EQ course focuses on how to do it for a voiceover recording. It's a great course. It's definitely going to allow you to work any EQ, software or hardware, and all those questions that you have, like, hey, I'm not sure how this EQ works, or I'm not sure which direction I'm going in. Why am I moving this up instead of down? Why am I going to the right or to the left? What do these knobs do? I mean, it really answers all those questions, and you'll feel confident about making the changes with an EQ. Let's shut off the EQ and let's look at Insight Pro from iZotope. And now what I want to do, I'm gonna scroll through this audio again. I'm gonna shut off that first EQ, so we're only listening to the raw audio, and we're gonna look at the visual representation. But this time, I want you to, when we hear Lisa's S's or SH sounds or some of those sibilant sounds, it's going to show us exactly where they are and what numbers that they are centered around. And we're going to make note of these because these are the numbers, these are the frequency spaces we're going to translate and use when we set our DeEsser. So I'll point your eyes and ears to this. She has two different spaces where I believe there's some sibilant sounds that we can attenuate, we can modify and reduce a little bit. She's got kind of a higher S sound, but then she has a lower SH kind of a sound when she says things like shotgun microphone. So let's listen for the sibilant sounds in her voice, and then we'll also visually take a look at what those are like in the Insight Pro Spectrum Analyzer.
Hi there, my name is Lisa Maslick, and I'm based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. The microphone that I'm using is a Loughton 320, LA320. I use the Scarlett Solo.
So I'm going to stop right there. And, this is what I'm noticing. She says Scarlett Solo. I'm noticing that this area, this space right here, centered around, 10,000, 10.5. This is the frequency space where her high S's are peaking. This is where the most of that energy is. So I'm going to kind of make a note of that, but we're going to keep playing through there and see, this is, remember, this is a peak line. This is the highest that they get. So we could look at this. It only updates if it actually goes even higher. So it's a good way for us to mark the destinations and the frequency spaces we want to work with.
Interface, and I have been using Lenny's preset, your preset, for a couple of years now, and I've loved it. However, we have moved to a new home. I'm now in a walk-in closet.
So I'm still seeing that this is one of the highest ones. It looks like this is kind of another area, but around here, this is good. It's giving us that information. Let's continue, and I happen to know that she has an SH coming up here that's a little bit lower. Let's see if we can hear it and find it.
I'm ready to upgrade my mic, and I'm not sure if I'm better with a shotgun or
and this is 36 3.6 kilohertz. So if we make note of that, 3.6 kilohertz, and then the frequencies centered around about 92, those are some good places to start. And then obviously I think it's always a good idea to, at the end, use your ears, and you kind of use this data that we've captured, use these frequency spaces that we can see are triggering on the spectrum analyzer, so we know where those high frequency sibilant peaks are. We could translate that over to the DeEsser, but then we're going to use our ears to kind of fine tune it. But I think you'll see that this really, like, we're using the equipment, we're using the meters, we're using this Insight Pro Spectrum Analyzer to really help us hone in and get the data that we need to set the DeEsser in the right area. Here's the Waves DeEsser, and I'm going to set the detector circuit to a bandpass because I want to focus in on just the frequencies, let's start with the higher frequencies that we heard. And I've dropped the threshold here, so it starts up at the top, and we're going to drop it to about 37 because I want about 6 dB. I have found when I set a DeEsser that attenuating a DeEsser around 6 decibels is probably a pretty good amount of de-essing. It's a good place to start. And so that's what I'm going to kind of look for, which means when the S sibilant sounds pass the threshold, it's going to attenuate them by 6 dB. So it's bringing down the volume of just that frequency space where we've identified the sibilant sounds to drop down. Now, we're looking at the 10,000 or the 10 kilohertz space, which is the upper end of her sibilant sound. So let's hear what that sounds like. I'll turn this on and off so you can hear the difference. And listen for those S's.
Hi there, my name is Lisa Maslick. Hi there, my name is Lisa Maslick, and I'm based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Really seems to soften those higher S's. And listen, there's no rules. I have identified by looking at the frequency analyzer and also my ears. When I heard some of her SH sounds, I thought, well, there's like a little bit of a whistle there. When that happens, I'd like to drop that down too. There's no reason why you can't use 2 DeEssers at once, especially if you've focused them on specific frequency spaces and you're only attenuating the S's when they happen, when they get too loud. So really what's happening is all the other times when it's not offending and it's not over sibilant, nothing's happening. The DeEsser it's not changing the sound at all. So we're only working on attenuating those sibilant sounds when they happen, when they pass a certain threshold. And really what that means is a DeEsser is basically a compressor that is working only when it needs to, only on a certain frequency band, not the whole piece of audio. So let's make another. So I'm going to copy this DeEsser again right underneath. So the first one we see is at 10. And so let's make this one, I think it was around 34, wasn't it? It was like the SH sounds. Let's find those sounds first. I know that her SH was in here when she said shotgun.
Mike, and I'm not sure if I'm better with a shotgun.
So here I've isolated where she says the word shotgun, where we hear that little whistle. Let's look again at Insight.
And I'm not sure if I'm better with a shotgun.
So let's see, around 36. Let's go down to 36. Let's see what threshold setting it would take to get about 6 dB of reduction on this DeEsser.
Mike, and I'm not sure if I'm better with Mike, and I'm not sure if I'm better with a shotgun or Mike, and I'm not sure if I'm better with a shotgun or Mike, and I'm not.
I want you to see if we can hear the difference between the raw SH sound when she says shotgun mic, and then I'll engage it, and you can hear the difference between the de-essed shotgun mic sound. Here's first with it off.
Mike, and I'm not sure if I'm better with a shotgun or Mike, and I'm not sure if I'm better with a shotgun.
So here's what it does. Because it's just dropping down the amplitude of that narrow frequency band only when it's overabundant, when it's above the threshold. What's happening is it's bringing that down, and it's softening the sound of her voice because we're not having that overabundant spike in that frequency space for that sibilant sound to poke through. So we're just really, it's in real time shaping the frequency of the audio as it's moving. It's the power of using plugins like this. You could really shape the sound in an ongoing way over time in real time. All right, let's put them both on. Let's listen to the raw file again, and then I'm going to show you how I've done something similar in the Shep Somni channel. Let's just listen with the 2 DeEssers engaged here.
Hi there, my name is Lisa Maslick, and I'm based out of.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to I'll put the higher one on the right side. It's just so it seems a little easier to compare. So this one is the higher frequency, and this one is the lower frequency, and you can see it attenuating when you hear it.
Hi there, my name is Lisa Maslick, and I'm based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. The microphone that I'm using is a Lenny 320, LA320. I use the Scarlett Solo interface, and I have been using Lenny's.
Let's move over to the SH sound here.
Hi there. I'm wondering, I'm ready to upgrade my mic, and I'm not sure if I'm better with a shotgun or just a better condenser mic. So
it's really valuable to have processing happen only when we want it to, and then when we don't have those overabundant sounds, it keeps the audio untouched, which is what we want. Different DeEssers are going to have different features. They're going to their interface is going to be a little bit different, but they all kind of do the same thing. And I want to just let's look at one a little bit closer here. This is the Pro DS from FabFilter, and what we have here. You can change the size of the frequency window of that band that you want to modify, the band that you want to attenuate when it hits a certain threshold. That threshold we could set here, and let's set this, and I'm going to translate the setting. This is for the higher, so we're in the 10,000 frequency. So let's go 7. Let's go between 9. Let's between 9 and 11. So that's about. Let's open it up just a little bit more. So I'm going to go 8 to 13. We'll set the threshold about -38, and we want the range to be about 6 dB. And let's see now. I'm going to, we've disengaged this DeEsser, but we've engaged the Pro DS, and let's see what that sounds like.
Hi there, my name is Lisa Maslick, and I'm based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. The microphone that I'm using is a Loughton 320, LA320. I use the Scarlett Solo interface, and I have been using Lenny's
Now, like I said, they all work a little different. They have a different sound to them. The curves are a little bit different. How they respond is a little different. Some give you a lot more control. I'm hearing to my ear, it sounds like it's doing a little bit more de-essing than I need it to. It sounds a little bit muffled to me. The important thing here is that I want you to see that you can use a frequency analyzer. You can use the visual representation to identify the frequency space, and you could translate that to any de-esser. But I do suggest once you find the space, you kind of listen and you make the final decision with your ears. That's really important. I really try to do that. I want to use the data from the meters. I want to use the data from the plugins to help me make my decision, but my final decision on what I think the best sound is, that happens with my ears. Another one of the reasons why I love the Shep Somni channel is it offers 2 DeEssers, which can be really handy when you're processing voiceover audio. And you can see 94 is where I've set the center frequency of this upper DeEsser, number 1, and number 2, the second DeEsser is about 37. And because of the curves, because of the narrow band I'm choosing to use, I can set the threshold. And again, it's a little bit different from the numbers that we saw on the frequency analyzer, but this is what I've come up with. So what I want to do is I'm going to play the entire custom setting for you, and then I'm going to engage in and out, disengage and engage the DeEsser. So listen for, when it's off, you can listen for those sibilant frequencies and see if they're just a little overabundant, and see how they are drawn in, see how they're minimized, see how they're tamped down, see how they're attenuated. Those frequency spaces are attenuated when I engage the DeEsser. Let's listen to first without, and then I'll engage it and toggle it for you.
Hi there, my name is Lisa Maslick, and I'm based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Hi there, my name is Lisa Maslick, and I'm based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. The microphone that I'm using is a Loughton 320, LA320. I use the Scarlett Solo interface, and I have been using Lenny's preset, your preset, for a couple of years now.
You can see when the upper frequency space is being attenuated in the meter here, and then you can see when the lower frequency space is being attenuated. Let's move over to that shotgun mic section so you can see how this one is attenuating the lower space of the sibilance.
Myself and really go after this. I also am wondering, I'm ready to upgrade my mic, and I'm not sure if I'm better with a shotgun or just a better condenser mic. So,
all right, one thing I want to do, so it's pretty cool, right? We're able to use the frequency analyzer. I think that's a powerful tool to really draw our attention, and it'll help us kind of make sense of it all. It's like, yes, that is definitely where the frequencies are overabundant, and so I could focus on those. And yes, I know I'm in the right space. Now let me use my ear to kind of fine tune it. But I want to talk a little bit about how much DeEsser to use, or if you should use it at all. I mean, I think you could listen to this and say, well, some people like the brightness. She may like the bright sound and say, I don't know if this needs a DeEsser at all, or really it's not doing that much. Or some people may say, oh, this is still too harsh for me. So how much DeEsser do you use? Do you use it? And when shouldn't you use it? And I always feel that it's really important that you, as the voiceover artist, need to like it. That's more important than what anybody else thinks, because if you like the sound of your own voice, you're going to perform better. I say this constantly all the time, but I think this is really an important concept to understand. Number one is you, and it has to be something that you're comfortable with. This is your art form. This is what you're putting out into the world. This is how you're being created. And if you like it, that's really all that matters. There will be some people that love it along with you, and there's some people that may not like it, and that's okay. We don't have to be everything. We don't have to be perfect for everybody, but we have to really feel confident in what we're doing, and that's going to help propel your voiceover career further, I believe. So I really think, because really this is art, right? It's like, what are we? We're attenuating 3, 4, 6 dB in certain frequency spaces, so really there's not really much. We're not changing with a DeEsser. We're not changing your voice that much, but so I think the roadmap here, the vector that you need to follow is, are you happy with it? Do you like the sound of it? And that's definitely what I do when I set a DeEsser, send back a sample to somebody. I go, hey, this is the sound I came up with. This is my interpretation of what I think sounds good. But what do you think? And what do you like? And if they want me to adjust any way, if you want me to adjust any way, whether it's DeEsser or how much EQ or brightness or warmth or low end or high end, I'm happy to do that for you, because I want you to be happy. Then when I put a custom preset together for somebody, that's the bottom line. I want you to love the sound. That's my goal, right? I want you to love the sound. Anyway, I'll wrap up here by saying, give it a shot. Mess with a frequency analyzer. A lot of EQs have a frequency analyzer in it. The F6 does. That Insight Pro from Isotope is a handy tool, but there's even some free frequency analyzers, plugins, VST plugins online that you can grab, and just try to mess with the EQ and understand what those numbers are and how they associate with the sound of a voice in that frequency space. My EQ course, I think, is a fantastic way to really dive a little deeper into understanding frequencies. As I break it down, you will be able to understand any EQ, and you'll be able to manipulate any EQ for voiceover after that course. And again, don't be shy. If you are interested in sending me your voice so you can hear what my custom processing sounds like on your voice, by all means, send it in. And I say this all the time, you don't have to be a professional voiceover artist to send me your voice. I actually believe that I can help more people earlier on in their career, earlier on in the development of their studio, right? I can help you make it sound better. That's what I do. If you've got any questions about any of this stuff, or setting a DeEsser, or suggestions you need from me, by all means, please leave the questions in the comment section. I'm Lenny B, voiceover audio engineer. Thanks for watching.